When I stopped the transfer student across the face, the entire class went silent. Even the clock seemed to pause, its ticking swallowed by the stunned silence. Moments ago, she had had the audacity to accuse me in front of everyone, claiming I was being kept by some old man. My childhood friend had immediately stepped forward to defend her, and my hand had found his face without hesitation. The collective gasp of the class echoed like a ripple through the air. Ryan's hand went up to cover his face. His eyes flashed a mixture of shock, anger, and something else I couldn't quite read. Maybe doubt. Jessica's shriek cut through the quiet. How dare you hit Ryan? You violent freak. Violent freak. Want to know what real violence feels like? I have a black belt in kickboxing. One punch and you'd be out for 3 days. Those 2 slaps. Mea courtesy. The homeroom teacher finally pushed her way through the crowd. Emma, how could you hit someone? I met her gaze calmly. Teacher, she slandered me. Publicly accusing a female classmate of being kept by a man is bullying. According to school rules, Chapter 5, Article 12, verbal violence counts. I was exercising self-defense. The teacher faltered, speechless. I turned back to Jessica, who was still sniffling dramatically, her face the color of fresh paint. Our class has 40 students. 35 of them are picked up by drivers every day. According to your logic, are they all being kept by someone? A few students snickered. Some even left their seats. I stepped closer, my voice sharp but steady. Jessica, have you experienced something we don't know about? Or is this just your vivid imagination running wild? If money's tight, just say so. We're classmates. We could crowd for you. Why degrade yourself with lies? Her cheeks flared crimson. I haven't. Then why do you insist on imagining things about me? Maybe it's your dirty mind at work, I said, letting my words sting. Ryan opened his mouth, but I held up a hand. Shut up, Ryan. 15 years of friendship exchanged for you taking her side twice and publicly questioning my character. Bad deal, but I'll take it. The bell rang perfectly, like an unseen conductor marking the end of the scene. I returned to my seat, grabbing my backpack, brushing past Jessica with a whisper meant only for her. Next time you throw dirt, check the license plate first. That Audi belongs to my dad's driver. Want me to pull up the dash cam showing how you hid behind that tree? Jessica's face drained of color the moment I mentioned the photos. I smiled faintly, shouldering my bag, and strode out of the classroom under every pair of eyes in the room. My knuckles throbbed from the hits, but there was a sweet, satisfying ache in the pain. I texted my best friend Sarah. She smacked Jessica. I'm at the convenience store, ice-cold Coke in hand, ready to celebrate your freedom. The steps down the stairwell felt lighter than usual, almost buoyant, until the familiar sound of Ryan's voice called after me. Emma, wait. I didn't turn. Some slaps, once delivered, needed no regrets. Some people once lost weren't worth retrieving. Sarah was waiting, leaning casually against the counter, her short hair strewn with purple catching the fluorescent light. Her school jacket hung loosely over her shoulders, a silent statement of defiance. She shoved 2 cans of Coke into my hands, clinking them against mine in celebration. From the classroom, I could hear the homeroom teacher's voice booming like a foghorn, rattling the floor. Sarah's eyes gleamed. Give me details. Is Jessica's face swollen? Did Ryan still defend her? I took a long pull from the can, the icy sweetness sliding down my throat. 5 fingerprints, perfectly visible. Ryan's the same. Think she's innocent. Pure me just the hothead in the story. Sarah snorted, tossing back her own drink. Did he donate ice to anyone in need? Jessica's schemes are obvious. A 3-year-old could see through them. Then my phone rang. My dad. Mr. Wilson. Someone was hiding behind a tree taking photos of you this morning. Want me to handle it? It's fine, Dad. Just classmates fooling around. I said, keeping my tone even. It's that transfer student. She's got issues. A pause then. Need me to speak to the school? No, I can handle it. I hung up. Sarah arched an eyebrow. Your dad knows. Can't stand nonsense. I shrugged. Sarah leaned closer, voice dropping. Speaking of nonsense, I dug up some dirt. She pulled a tablet from her backpack, swiping through photos. Jessica had transferred from Lincoln High, apparently fleeing her old school after rumors of theft, though nothing was proven. She had stood out in her ill-fitting uniform, had bowed, trying to blend in among students with designer bags and expensive shoes. I studied the image, trying to connect it to the perfect Jessica of today. Clearly, she had transferred here to climb the social ladder. Our school was full of wealthy kids. She probably thought snagging a rich boyfriend would solve her family's problems. Sarah snapped the tablet shut, her smirk matching mine. Classic move. Watch her try to worm her way up. Footsteps echoed softly. Behind us, Sarah and I turned in unison. 15 feet away, Ryan stood, his face still faintly red from the slap I'd landed. The memory of it must have stung. The mark wasn't subtle. His eyes, though, were what unsettled me. So many emotions tangled together. Shock, guilt, confusion, and something I couldn't quite name. Emma, let's talk, he said cautiously. Sarah rolled her eyes, ready to intervene, but I held her back with a firm grip. Tuck it, I murmured. You're staying out of this. I leaned casually against the wall, giving him a pointed look. 3 minutes, that's all you get. He approached and the faint scent of cheap perfume followed him. The one Jessica wore. His hands flexed at his sides, as if restraining something. I was impulsive earlier, he said, hesitating. But you went too far. Jessica was genuinely concerned about you. Concerned about me? I repeated incredulously, stepping closer by publicly saying I'm being kept. Ryan, did your brain get stuck in a door or get kicked by a donkey? His expression faltered. A flicker of doubt crossed his features. Maybe she really did misread something, misinterpret something misunderstood. I pulled out my phone, swiping to this morning's dashcam screenshot. Look here. That's clearly my dad's driver, Mr. Wilson. I held the screen up, letting the evidence speak. Want me to shove his license and my dad's company employment verification in your face? The image showed me stepping out of the Audi's back seat, Mr. Wilson waving from the driver's seat in his crisp uniform. Clear as day. Ryan's lips moved silently. His hands tightened into fists at his sides. He hadn't even asked me once. Not once. 15 years. Ryan, do you need a lesson on what kind of person Emma Parker is? I leaned closer, my voice low but sharp. To a transfer student you've only known for 2 weeks. I just thought she needed protection, he murmured. She's fragile. Sarah finally spoke, unable to hold back any longer. Her voice sharp enough to cut glass. Do you even know what people at her old school said about her? Stealing, spreading rumors, stirring up trouble. Ryan's head shot up, eyes wide. You investigated her? We did, I said, coolly meeting his gaze directly. Fair trade, Ryan. She throws dirt at me. I dig up her background. Simple as that. But tell me, how much do you actually know about her? Besides what she cries about, what victim act she puts on, and calling you big brother Ryan. What else? His mouth opened, but no words came out. Silence stretched like a taut wire between us. Then the sound of footsteps, soft and hesitant, mixed with low sobbing, drifted from down the hall. Jessica was coming. Jessica rounded the corner, her eyes red-rimmed and glistening with fresh tears. She stopped when she saw the three of us, her hand flying to her mouth in what I could only describe as practice shock. Ryan, she whispered, her voice trembling perfectly. I didn't mean to cause trouble. Emma, I'm so sorry if I misunderstood. I just saw you getting into that car, and I thought I was worried about you. Sarah made a sound somewhere between a laugh and a scoff. Jessica's eyes darted between us, settling on Ryan with wounded innocence. I should never have said anything. I'm so stupid. At my old school, a girl got hurt by someone she trusted, and I thought I was helping. At your old school, I said slowly. A lot of things happened, didn't they? Her face went pale, then flushed. What do you mean, Lincoln? Hi, Sarah said cheerfully. Ring any bells? Or should we ring them for you? Jessica's tears stopped as abruptly, as if someone had turned off a faucet. For just a moment, barely a heartbeat, her expression shifted into something cold and calculating before the mask slipped back into place. I don't know what rumors you've heard, she said softly, but people in my old school were cruel. They made things up because my family didn't have money. Is that what you're doing now, Emma? Using your wealth to crush me? Ryan shifted uncomfortably. I could see the gears turning in his head, the old protective instinct wearing with doubt. Here's what I'm doing, I said, keeping my voice level. I'm protecting myself from someone who hides behind trees taking photos, then weaponizes them with accusations. Someone who cries on cue and plays damsel in distress. Someone who transfers schools and immediately targets the girl whose childhood friend might be the easiest route to social acceptance. Jessica's eyes widened. That's not. Spare me, I interrupted. I gave Ryan 3 minutes. Yours are already up. I pushed off the wall, shouldering my bag. Sarah, let's go. As we walked away, I heard Jessica's voice soft and pleading. Ryan, she's so cruel to me. I just wanted to fit in. Sarah glanced back. He's still standing there like a lost puppy. Not my problem anymore, I said, even as something tight squeezed in my chest. 15 years of friendship dissolved in 2 slaps and a stranger's tears. By the next morning, the school's group chat had exploded. Someone had recorded yesterday's confrontation. Not the slapping part, but my calm dismantling of Jessica's accusations. The video had been edited, captioned, and shared with commentary. Emma Parker doesn't play. That was literally her dad's driver, Elmio. Jessica really thought she did something, but there were other comments too. Rich people always protect their own. Poor girl just transferred, and they're bullying her. Emma's always been violent. My cousin told me. I scrolled through them during breakfast, my dad reading the newspaper across from me. Mr. Wilson had already briefed him on the full situation, dashcam footage and all. Wanting to talk to the principal? Dad asked without looking up. No, this needs to play out. I set down my phone. If you intervene, I'm just the rich girl who can't fight her own battles. He folded his newspaper, studying me with those sharp gray eyes that had built a business empire. You're more like me than I gave you credit for. At school, Jessica was surrounded by a small group of girls, ones who'd always hovered on the edge of the popular crowd, eager for drama. She looked fragile and brave, laughing softly at something someone said, dabbing at her eyes. Ryan walked beside her, carrying her books. Sarah appeared at my elbow. He's really committed to this white knight act. Let him. I headed to my locker, but Ryan intercepted me in the hallway alone this time. Emma, his voice was strained. Can we just go back to how things were? Which version? I asked. Before you believed a stranger over me. Before you made me the villain in her story. Be specific, Ryan. He flinched. I made a mistake. I should have asked you first, but hitting me was the least you deserved, I said flatly. You want forgiveness? Start by asking yourself why you needed to save her so badly that you didn't think twice about throwing me under the bus. His jaw tightened. That's not fair. Fair. I laughed sharp and bitter. You picked a side, Ryan, live with it. I walked past him, feeling his stare boring into my back. It started small. A girl from the art club approached me at lunch, sliding into the seat across from mine. Emma, I'm Claire. I was at Lincoln High last year. She pushed her glasses up nervously. I heard about Jessica Martinez. Sarah leaned forward immediately. What about her? Claire glanced around, then lowered her voice. The theft thing? It wasn't just rumors. My friend's phone went missing from the locker room, then her necklace. Security footage showed Jessica near the lockers both times, but her family threatened legal action, and the school backed down. She transferred before they could investigate properly. Did she take them? I asked. Can't prove it. Claire admitted. But 3 weeks after she left, All the theft stopped and my friend's necklace showed up on a resale site. Same engraving and everything. The seller's account was deleted before we could track it. Sarah whistled low. So she's got a pattern. There's more. Claire continued. She dated this guy, Marcus Chun. His family owns a restaurant chain. Really sweet guy. After they broke up, rumors spread that he cheated on her with her best friend. Completely destroyed his reputation. Turns out Jessica had fabricated text messages, edited screenshots. By the time the truth came out, the damage was done. My stomach twisted. This wasn't just social climbing. This was calculated destruction. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Claire met my eyes because I saw her watching you that first week. The way she looked at you at Ryan at your friend group. She studies people. Emma figures out what they want, what they fear, then she uses it. After Claire left, Sarah and I sat in silence. We need more proof, Sarah finally said. Real proof, not just stories from her old school. We need to catch her in the act. I agreed. That afternoon, I noticed Jessica lingering near my locker. She jumped when she saw me. That startled deer looked perfected. Emma, I was hoping to talk to you. She twisted her hands together. I know we got off on the wrong foot. Maybe we could start over. I could really use a friend who understands what it's like here. Every word felt rehearsed, calculated. I saw it now. The micro-expressions Claire had warned me about. The way her eyes flickered to gauge my reaction before adjusting her approach. Why me? I asked after everything. Because you're strong, she said softly. I admire that. And I think maybe I was jealous. You have everything I don't. Confidence, friends. Ryan's loyalty. I lashed out. I'm sorry. It was a good apology, almost believable. I'll think about it. I said neutrally. Her smile was radiant. Thank you, Emma. That means everything. As she walked away, I texted Sarah. She just tried to flip me. This is going to get interesting. Sarah's plan was elegant in its simplicity. She targets people close to wealth and influence, Sarah explained, sprawled across my bed that evening. So we give her a target she can't resist. Who? My cousin Derek. He's visiting from New York next week. Heir to his family's tech company, total trust fund baby. We introduce them casually. Let her think she's making the connection herself. Then we watch. You want to use your cousin as bait? Sarah grinned wickedly. Derek's not as naive as he looks. Plus, he owes me for covering when he crashed his dad's car. He'll play along. The setup happened at a coffee shop near school. Sarah and I were studying when Derek happened to walk in. Expensive watch glinting, designer jacket casually draped over his shoulder. He ordered an elaborate drink, dropping his black credit card on the counter. Right on cue, Jessica entered with two girls from her orbit. Her eyes locked onto Derek immediately. Oh my God, Sarah. Jessica approached our table, all brightness and enthusiasm. I didn't know you'd be here, Jessica. Hi. Sarah smiled. This is my cousin Derek. He's visiting from New York. Derek looked up, his practice charm sliding into place. Any friend of Sarah's? You go to school here? Jessica's transformation was fascinating to watch. Her posture shifted. Her voice dropped into something softer, more intriguing. I just transferred. Still finding my way around. New girl, huh? Derek's smile was perfect. Interested but not desperate. That must be tough. It has been, she admitted, casting her eyes down. But meeting people like Sarah and Emma is helping. I nearly choked on my coffee at being included in her gratitude. Over the next week, Derek played his part flawlessly. He showed up at school to pick up Sarah, always greeting Jessica warmly. He mentioned his family's company casually, dropped hints about his trust fund, his apartment in Manhattan, his father's connections. Jessica blossomed under the attention. She started dressing differently, clothes that were nicer, though still within reach of a modest budget. She laughed at Derek's jokes, touched his arm lightly when they talked, always maintaining that perfect balance of interested and unavailable. And Ryan watched it all with growing confusion, his protective instincts struggling against what his eyes were showing him. She's different around him. Ryan admitted to me one afternoon, cornering me by the lockers. We'd barely spoken in days. More? I don't know. Calculated. Calculated. I repeated. Interesting word choice. He ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. Don't be smug about this. I'm not being smug. I'm being proven right. There's a difference. Sarah had been monitoring Jessica's social media, noting how her posts shifted. More luxury brands tagged. More photos at upscale locations. More mentions of meeting amazing new people. The girl who'd cried about being bullied for being poor was rapidly rebranding herself. Then came the party. Derek's impromptu gathering at a rented penthouse downtown. Invitation only. The kind of event that would normally be far beyond Jessica's reach. But Derek made sure she was invited. This is where we see who she really is, Sarah said as we got ready. Away from school in an environment where she thinks she's already one. I adjusted my dress in the mirror, watching Sarah apply dark lipstick with precision. What if we're wrong? I asked. What if she really is just a girl trying to fit in? Sarah met my eyes in the reflection. Then we apologize and move on. But Emma, we're not wrong. You know we're not. The certainty in her voice settled something in my chest. Whatever happened tonight, we'd finally have our answer. The penthouse was gorgeous. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Subtle lighting. The kind of casual luxury that whispered old money. Jessica arrived in a dress that definitely wasn't from her usual budget. Her makeup flawless. Derek greeted her warmly, playing the perfect host. I watched from across the room as she worked the crowd, collecting names, making connections, always positioning herself near the wealthiest-looking guests. Ryan had come too, hovering at the edges, watching Jessica with an expression I couldn't quite read. She's good, Sarah murmured beside me. Really good. Around midnight, Derek suggested showing a few people the terrace. Jessica was immediately interested, linking her arm through his. Sarah and I followed at a distance along with Ryan and a few others. On the terrace, Derek leaned against the railing, his phone in his hand. Jessica, I've been meaning to ask you something. She moved closer, her expression open and trusting. Anything. My father's company is looking for a new social media manager. You mentioned you're interested in marketing. Would you want an introduction? Her eyes lit up. Derek, that would be incredible. I thank you. You don't know what this means to me. Of course, he said smoothly. But I should mention they do thorough background checks. Previous schools, references, employment history, standard stuff. That won't be a problem, will it? The change was instantaneous. Her smile faltered for just a fraction of a second, her eyes going sharp and calculating before she recovered. No, of course not though. She bit her lip. There might be some complications from my old school. Some people there spread rumors about me. Nothing true, but you know how these things can look on paper. What kind of rumors? Derek asked innocently. Jessica glanced around, suddenly aware of the audience. Her expression shifted again. Vulnerable. Hurt. I'd rather not talk about it here. It's painful. Was it about the theft? Claire's voice cut through the night air. We all turned. Claire stood in the doorway to the terrace, her phone in her hand, her expression cold. Jessica's face went white. I don't know what you're talking about, Lincoln High. 3 students reported items stolen. Security footage showed you near the lockers. Your family threatened legal action before the school could finish investigating. Then you transferred. Claire stepped forward. Should I continue? Those were lies. Jessica's voice rose, panic bleeding through. People were jealous. Or the thing with Marcus Jean. Claire continued relentlessly. The fabricated screenshots. The character assassination. Jessica turned to Derek. Tears already forming. Derek, please. These people have been harassing me spreading. I know, Derek said quietly. Claire already told me everything. This whole party, it was a setup. Jessica, the terrace went silent. Jessica looked around at all of us, her mask finally cracking completely. The tears dried up, her expression hardened into something cold and bitter. You people, she said, her voice dripping with contempt. You think you're so clever, so righteous. You have everything handed to you, money, connections, chances, and you waste it. I've had to fight for every scrap, every opportunity. So yes, I take shortcuts. Yes, I play games because that's the only way people like me survive in your world. By hurting others. Ryan's voice was quiet but firm. He stepped forward, his face pale. By lying and manipulating? That's not survival, Jessica. That's just cruelty. She laughed sharp and humorless. You were so easy, Ryan, the noble white knight, desperate to save the damsel in distress. All I had to do was cry. And you came running, his jaw clenched. I trusted you. Your mistake. She turned that cold gaze on me. And you, perfect Emma Parker with your designer bags and your daddy's driver. You think one slap makes you tough. You don't know what real fighting looks like. You're right, I said calmly. I don't know what you've been through, but using your struggles as justification to hurt others. That's not strength. That's just sad. For a moment, something flickered across her face. Genuine pain. Maybe even regret. Then it vanished. This isn't over, she said, grabbing her purse. Actually, Derek said. It is. I've already sent everything to your principal. Screenshots, testimonies from Lincoln High, tonight's recording. They're expecting you Monday morning. Jessica froze. You can't. We can, Sarah said. And we did. You gambled, Jessica. You lost. Without another word, Jessica strode through the crowd and disappeared into the elevator. The terrace remained silent for a long moment. Then Ryan turned to me, his expression raw. Emma, not tonight, I said quietly. We'll talk, but not tonight. He nodded slowly and walked away. Sarah slipped her arm through mine. You okay? Yeah, I said, meaning it. I really am. Monday morning, Jessica's seat was empty. The principal had called an emergency meeting with her family over the weekend. By Sunday night, Jessica had withdrawn from school. Rumor had it her family was moving to another district entirely. Ryan found me at lunch, sitting alone in the courtyard. Can I? He gestured to the bench. I nodded. He sat, maintaining careful distance between us. I'm sorry, he said. That's inadequate, I know, but I am. I should have trusted you. Should have asked questions. Should have been the friend you deserved. Why didn't you? I asked. He was quiet for a long time. I think I wanted to be needed. You've always been so strong, so capable. You never needed rescuing. And Jessica seemed so fragile, so grateful for any help. It felt good to be someone's hero. So, you sacrifice 15 years of friendship for an ego boost. He flinched. When you put it like that, how else should I put it? You shouldn't. He met my eyes. You're right. I was selfish and stupid and I hurt you. If you can't forgive me, I understand. But I needed you to know. I see it now. What I did, what I cost us. I studied his face. The same face I'd known since we were 7, building blanket forts and sharing secrets. The same person who'd walk me home from school every day, who taught me to ride a bike, who'd been there for every birthday, every milestone. I don't forgive you, I said. Finally. Not yet. Maybe not for a while. His shoulders sagged. But I continued. I don't want to lose 15 years either. So we rebuild slowly. You earn back trust the same way you lost it. Through actions, not words. Hope flickered in his eyes. I can do that. Good. Start by carrying my books. Consider it penance. A small smile tugged at his lips. Yes, ma'am. As we walked back toward the building, Sarah appeared, raising an eyebrow at Ryan's presence. Probationary period, I explained. Tough but fair, she approved. The school year continued. Jessica became a cautionary tale whispered in hallways. A reminder that not everything that glitters is gold. And not every tear is genuine. Claire and I became friends, bonding over shared experiences with manipulation. And me, I learned that strength isn't just about fighting back. It's about knowing when to fight, when to walk away, and when maybe to offer a second chance. My dad still insisted on Mr. Wilson driving me to school. I stopped caring what anyone thought about it. Because the thing about Violet Fire, the thing Jessica never understood is that it's not about violence. It's about burning bright, refusing to be dimmed, standing firm in who you are. Even when the world tries to make you small. Some fires rage and destroy, others illuminate the truth. Mine did both, and I wasn't sorry.